Hello and welcome to the 4th episode of Stories My Friends Tell. If anyone's tuning in, thanks so much for coming back after such a long break, but I do have some good news as to why it's been a couple months since the last episode. Stories My Friends Tell is now the official podcast of the White House. It's pretty cool. I don't really know how we swung that, but we're really thrilled that Obama's last act as president is going to be, to make us the official White House podcast. It's going to cement his legacy, and we're really excited about that. But
check is on its way.
Yeah, good thing that already passed, because I think you're going to have your dreams crushed anyway, because Obama's on his way out. Trump's on his way in.
I don't know. I think Trump might.
What, surprise us?
Yeah,
He might pivot to completely. Yeah, whatever.
To loving podcasts.
We'll see.
We'll see. I think it could be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I think you just got to give him a chance.
Yeah, we're big Trump fans.
Oh no.
No point in pretending that's not where we lie.
We're 45 seconds in. We've gone off the rails already. So pretty cool things happening over here at Stories My Friends Tell. That being said, I'm very excited that my very good friends Danny Garfield, Lia Kastrinakis, and Sam Friedensohn are with me. How are you three doing?
Hey.
I'm good.
We're doing great.
Good.
This is Sam. I'm doing well.
This is Leah.
Uh-huh.
I'm also doing well.
Danny.
I already said I'm good.
Great. What have you three been up to since the last episode that none of you were actually on anyway?
When did the last episode come out?
Like October or November.
So Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
October. Well,
It was a Halloween night.
Around Halloween, in October, I got my hair cut, and actually a couple days ago, I got my hair cut again.
Wow.
So that's funny that my haircut schedule has kind of synced up with your podcast schedule. I wonder what's going on there in the cosmos.
I don't know.
That's how you remember, maybe.
To get a haircut?
The podcast
the next time
comes
this
out.
episode, will this episode come out like 2.5 months
Well,
later?
you're going to need to let me know next time we're getting a haircut.
Okay, we'll do
I'll
it
throw
that way.
something together.
We'll do it that way.
Great.
I haven't been up to much.
I spent my Halloween at a Holocaust museum.
Oh, was it spooky and scary?
Was it a spook? Was it like decorated with ghosts?
I was like, I had to like, everyone left.
Holocaust.
I was like working on like a.
That's
on
the most
some...
horrifying thing I've ever heard. By the
Haunted
way.
House Holocaust?
That's
Yeah.
a really good idea.
It's a great idea. That's terrible.
I don't think that's a good idea.
People like being scared on Halloween. They go to haunted houses.
that like brings it into real
What's
life.
scarier
like
than
a haunted Holocaust museum.
Than a
Yeah.
real tragedy.
Yeah.
Well, the horror of it is, you can do everything right and things still go wrong.
I feel like.
I'm definitely cutting all this out.
That's the definition of horror.
Danny, you were at a haunted house.
No, I was in a Holocaust museum.
I'm sorry.
It was like some movie that I was like, and everyone went to go eat dinner, and they just like left me at this Holocaust museum like in Long Island to just like sit there and watch like all the like seltzer to make sure no one came and took it.
Okay.
So I was just like sitting on a folding chair in like the woods in Long Island.
Trying to buy seltzer.
Yeah,
Do you like
and
seltzer?
no one
And
took
baby
it.
shoes.
But it was like,
Oh.
but it does seem like a really like premium time for guests to come. But
Yeah.
I like was just really tired, and I did like a dance out of exhaustion to keep awake.
Maybe that scared away the
Anyway,
ghosts.
sorry, that's
Yeah,
what I was
maybe.
doing.
Yeah, that's a fantastic intro.
And that is Danny's story.
Thanks for coming on.
That's a
I
fantastic
got
intro.
storytelling fever.
Let's use that as a segue into our first storyteller, who's going to be Daniel Garfield.
It is me.
Yeah.
My story is about when I was 16 in high school. I had like just gotten into smoking weed, but it was like a very different. I was into it in a very different way than like I have any interest in it now. It was like almost like a religious experience. It was like this like pathway to like, I don't know, an amazing new life outside of the suburbs and outside of like being a good kid in school. I was like very serious about it, and so were my friends. And so we heard a rumor from this guy, Dan, that there was a grow house in the neighborhood, which is like, you know, just like an abandoned house where someone had decided to like put a weed farm. And so we assumed that like that meant that anyone can just go and like take what they want. But
Like a co-op.
yeah, like a co-op, like very easy breezy.
Community garden.
But we didn't get any real specifics on the location. But that idea was enough to like empower us to pretty much like break into any house that we thought maybe was abandoned. So there's a house that my friend Natalie found that was across from the synagogue where I went to preschool. It was like this huge, really like old-fashioned mansion. My neighborhood is like one of those old suburbs where like some of the houses aren't that big, but like once you get away from the road, it's like they're so big and so old. And it had like a wrought iron, like a fence made out of iron with spikes on it. And we start like sussing it out, and we're like, look, the grass is like really overgrown, and like the car in the driveway, the tires are flat, and we're like, this is definitely it. So we like climb over the fence one day, and we're like going around the perimeter really like strategically, and we find in the back there's like floor to ceiling windows, and at the top they're like little panels, and one of the little windows was just like missing, and we're like, okay, we'll just climb all the way up and like crawl through this broken window. And so we like made our way inside to this house, and I remember like I jumped down from the window onto the like stairs in the like main hall area, and it's like the whole house completely furnished, like red, like velvet. It felt like velvet rugs everywhere. And I looked to my feet, and there was just like a skeleton of a bird.
Oh God!
With no feathers, just like a bird had gotten in and was trapped and completely decomposed.
Oh my God!
So no one had been here for a long time. So we're like, okay, now we gotta just go into every room and find out where our free weed is. So like, but it's one of these old houses where it's not, you know, it's pre like the Mark Zuckerberg open floor plan movement. So there's like 50 rooms, all with doors between them. So like we're going through this house, and you open every door, and it's either this is gonna be like someone who's like, get the fuck out of my house, or a dead person, or just a beautiful green garden of that herb. And so we like open one room, and there's like a white shag carpet and like a pufferfish taxidermy on a table, and another room is full of like these like beautiful like religious plates with Bible passages on them and like pictures of Jesus, and there's like all these like nice Chinese screens around, and like we're going through, and we get to the upstairs, and there's like we like are sure there's gonna be someone dead in the bed, but there wasn't. So eventually we like go through the whole house, and like it was completely, no one was there. There was no weed though. Sadly. But we almost I feel like even that idea had kind of like evaporated a little bit at this point. We were just like suspended in like someone else's life, and like their entire house had been just like frozen in the past. And so we're like, wow, like this, we like started to feel the sense of ownership over the house. Which is where things started to go wrong. Really. So then like we left, but then we come, you know, we tell some people, we come back to the house, every time climbing like 2 stories through a window to get in, and like we brought like these like musical instruments, and we're like, we're gonna have like a cool like, we're kind of like hippies in this way. We're like, we're gonna have like a cool jam session in this like abandoned house. And we had like a jam. So we had like this jam sesh. And then, so like, I don't know, it kind of became part of the routine. But then one day, a couple of my friends went there. I was not there. And they were like, this is going to be our like cool art space. And so they came into this house, this beautiful old mansion with like spray paint. And they just they painted like all the keys on the grand piano red, and they like put the puffer fish up on like a wall, and they wrote like, don't fuck with the fish. And they like wrote something on like the screens, and like just took like this like delicate beautiful thing and just like did like dumb teen shit all over it. And so then like I come and met them later or something, and I just walked in and I could not believe what I was looking at, and like it all came to me. I was like, oh my god, I like broke into a house, and like if someone ever finds out, like I'm gonna be arrested, and like my whole like good boy student thing is like done, like this is gonna be the end of my life. And like we all just looked at each other with horror and realized what we had done. And so then we like ran to my friend's house, and we like found some like paint in her garage, some like white paint to like try and like paint over the walls and like fix, but like we couldn't fix anything. We had completely ruined it. And like after that, nobody ever went back. We almost never talked about it. It was like this blemish. And then just like, you know, we moved on. We went to college. And then after I graduated, I was back home, and I decided I would I was unemployed. I didn't have anything to do, so I just biked over to the house, and I was like looking, and I heard hammering inside, and I had never heard any sound. So I just went up the driveway and walked in the side door, which was open. So it's like, if that was always open, it's kind of a missed opportunity. But yeah, I went inside, and like there's a guy just like hammering, and he's like, asked him what's up, and he's like, oh yeah, someone bought the house, and they're like gutting the whole thing, and they had just like teared down the walls, everything had been painted over, all the furniture was gone, like it had completely lost all its character. But it was also like this terrible thing we had done had been erased. So it was like we had been absolved, but also I knew there was a moment of someone that had come into this house and seen it and been horrified. Yeah, and then I told everyone, and we all just have to live with it.
Nice.
Yep.
So you never found out like what happened to the house or why it was abandoned, or?
We did a little bit. Other people have been interested in it. This girl I knew had actually made like a PowerPoint presentation about the history of the house. Yeah, and it was like this very old, like wealthy family from my neighborhood. I think the person that owned it was just, they'd either died or they were in the hospital. It was this like very elegant space, and we like completely ruined that aspect of it. We thought we were doing a good thing though, which is the crazy part. We thought we were like gonna really make something of it.
No, it's great to have like a
like
a place to squat.
We just like, I think it was just like being a teenager, like the idea of like having a space that is like inside, but also like your parents
rules,
aren't there. Yeah, it's just like so intoxicating.
Mm-hmm.
It's a secret clubhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like,
basically.
it's literally like a tree house.
Yeah.
It's like the same
That's
impulse.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Our next storyteller is going to be Lia Kastrinakis.
Hey.
Hey, take us somewhere.
I'll take you back to the summer before my last year of college. This is the story of the worst party that I ever went to. And the names have been changed. So when I was in high school, I had a group of really good friends. At one point, there must have been like 14 of us or something like that, girls that were all really smart, and we were all friends with each other. So we always had like someone to hang out with and stuff. There was always like a big group of people to choose from. And when we went to college, a lot of us kept in touch, but some people dropped off into like groups of like 5 and 5 that would like keep in touch like that. But still, and to now, I have a bunch of friends that I went to high school with that I still keep in touch with. So one of those friends, Kristen, the summer before I went to, or so the summer before my last year of college, was turning 21. So she told us to leave our weekends free for the entire month of July to celebrate because it was on a Tuesday and she didn't know which weekend she was going to celebrate it. So I guess that's what I did. She didn't know which weekend she was having a party. She was lifeguarding at a nearby beach that summer, and she was seeing, or I guess not really seeing, but like hooking up with this kid who she has asked me to specify was not a lifeguard but a beach facilities attendant. I don't know what the difference is, but apparently it is monumental. So that same summer, she had sex with him so hard in the staff shack that her Nuva ring popped out. So they were soulmates, clearly. So she decided on a Friday night for the party that month, and her mom said that she can have it at her house because she's 21, so it'll be legal. So she invites all our girl friends from high school that we still keep in touch with. So it's Friday night. She tells everyone to come over at 8, which is a sleepover because alcohol. So I get there at 8:30 because I am terrified of social interaction, hate being anywhere early in case I'm the first one there or there's other people that like I don't know that I'll have to talk to, need like a buffer. So I get there and she's sitting on her front stoop waiting outside the house for me. And I get out and she's like, "Oh, you're the first one here." And I'm like, "Oh, this sucks." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, like who else is coming?" And she's like, "Well, no one could really make it, so it's just going to be some of my coworkers." Again, these are the lifeguards in the beach facilities attendants, excuse me. It was just me, Kristen, up front for a while sitting, and then a Jeep drives up and drops off the first other party attendee, one of her coworkers, which is Joey, who is a kid with a very thick South African accent, who is 19, and has just been dropped off by his mom because his license had been revoked for multiple small infractions. So the party count right now is me, Kristen, and Joey. So we go to the liquor store and we come back, and for a while it's just the three of us in her backyard making drinks and like drinking and stuff. Again, fear social interaction, but I just got there and I can't just leave her alone because it is her 21st birthday party, so I decide I'll, probably get kind of drunk to make it more bearable. So a few things that I learned about Joey in the first 30 minutes that I've met him is that he talks like he's lecturing all of the time, just constantly lecturing you, is a huge stereotypical like frat bro in the most stereotypical way and loves to talk about drugs. So he tells me that he's going to be a terrible father because he's going to give his kids drugs because he wouldn't be able to resist or something like that, and goes into this huge tangent about how he and his kids are going to do coke together and it's going to be fun, and I'm like, okay, just chugging away at my drink. And we're all drinking there for a while, and then Kristen is like, "Oh, you know what we should do? We should invite Dave King." Back up, who is Dave King? He was a football player that we went to high school with who sat next to Kristen in the study hall that we had in the library, and they would just shit on each other the whole period long. They actually went to junior prom together, and I don't know why, because I'm sure they both hated each other at the time. Fast forward a little bit, not to the present yet, but to a side story. Over the summer before we went to college, Dave King's now hooking up with one of my other friends, Amanda. Now my friends and I were super kind of goody good kids, so we never really drank over in high school and stuff like that. So the summer before we went to college, we were like, oh, we should test it out to know our limits and stuff like that. So Kristen knew a guy who lived in his parents' basement, so we went there to get drunk, and then we were DD'd back to our other friend's house where we slept in his yard and camping tents. And a bunch of people vomited outside because, of course, But Dave was the only one who was drunk and ballsy enough to vomit all over himself inside of the tent where we were sleeping, then rip off his vomit-covered shirt, and then throw it and yell, "I'm like Jacob from Twilight, I'm sexy and hot." I'll remember that to this day. That was the last time I had seen him, and to reiterate, we weren't really friends with him.
Right.
Flash forward to that Tuesday, that's her 21st birthday in that month. Dave King writes, after 3 years of no contact, "Happy birthday, I guess," on Kristen's Facebook wall. Back to the present. She's like, "We should invite Dave King." So she texts him to come over, and then after a while, he texts back, kind of out of the blue, but sure, why not? So Dave comes, and the party's now me, Kristen, Joey, and Dave King. Jeff arrives, who is the the other lifeguard or facilities attendant, I don't know which one he was, that she has been hooking up with. So it's now me, Kristen, Joey, Dave King, and Jeff, and the party is complete. So Kristen has a pool in her backyard. They all want to go swimming. I don't want to because it's dark and it's buggy out and I've had a bunch of drinks to cope. Joey says, if you don't come swim with us, I'm going to drag you into the pool multiple times over and over again. So I think he honestly might. So I just go in the pool instead, willingly. We go inside and dry off. After we're done, I go to the basement and get my phone because I left it with my sleeping bag and stuff down there. I come upstairs and I see all of them huddled around the counter in her kitchen. And Kristen's standing over a line of powdery residue on the counter. And I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And find out that Kristen has done a line of Molly on the counter, and her parents are upstairs. Have allowed her to have this party. Bless her heart, she's just trying to make the most of her 21st birthday that no one came to. But still, I now realize that my strategy for the evening has been entirely wrong. I need to sober the fuck up so I can drive home. So we all head downstairs, and then they start playing beer pong. Kristen, bless her heart again, wants to turn it into strip beer pong, just trying to make the most of her birthday. I violently excuse myself from the game because I'm only wearing one dress. It's the summer. I'm very bad at beer pong. Would not end very well for me. So I sit down on the couch, and this is when Joey's courtship begins. He leaves the game kind of back and forth to, literally just sit on me. Like, keeps trying to sit on top of me, like a bird might sit on top of its eggs, as a flirting technique, which I hate. It's terrible. And he also keeps trying to steal my phone away from me, where I've been texting my friends. I think I might have actually been texting Sam, because to get the order of events, I went back on our old Facebook messages and found the messages that I'd sent to you about this night. So I think I was chatting you as it was happening. So he keeps trying to sit on me and steal my phone and hitting on me, and I hate it, and I don't engage him, and I put on a movie in the TV in the basement, which is the best VCR that Kristen owns, Dickie Roberts' Child Star, starring David Spade.
Former child star, I believe.
Oh, maybe it is former? I don't
Dickie
know.
Roberts, former
Yeah,
child
but we
star.
had watched that movie. I've seen that movie 5 times because that was the only good movie, or good in parentheses. It's pretty good that she had. So at some point, Kristen and Jeff go upstairs for a while. The beer pong game ends. Joey goes upstairs too, and Dave King and I are watching this movie on the couch. And then Dave comes back down and says, oh, not Dave, I'm sorry, Joey comes back down and says, "Hey, don't go upstairs. Kristen and Jeff are fucking on the living room couch." To reiterate again, God bless her, but her parents are upstairs awake, allowing her to have this party. So Joey disappears again. He doesn't come back downstairs. I don't know where he's gone. I hope it's not to watch. After some time, Kristen comes down alone and tells us that her brother's home and he's going to drive them to the mini mart to get cigarettes. And she looks at Dave King and I and she says, "You guys aren't going to hook up while I'm gone, are you?" And Dave and I look at each other with stone-faced horror and then turn back at her and say, "Absolutely not." So she and the other guys leave, and Dave King's there watching the movie with me, and I'm like, "Why did you come? We haven't seen you in years." And he's like, "I don't know." So they come back. Joey comes and gets us and tells us to come outside, and they're all like smoking cigarettes in a circle, and I'm just kind of standing there. At this point, I'm pretty sober. I'm probably going to go home soon, and I tell them like, oh, I'm like really tired. I'm sober. I'm probably going to go home soon. So Kristen gets a text from her mom because the house smells and she's mad for like other totally acceptable reasons. So then Kristen gets into a text battle with her mom, and somewhere in that conversation tells her mom that I'm planning on leaving. So her mom texts back, under no circumstances is anyone leaving. And I respect her mom, so I'm not going to defy her wishes, so I am stuck there. So I've never tried a cigarette before up to this point, and I try one puff off of one of their cigarettes, and it's the worst thing that's ever happened. So then I decided that I'm going to do the only option that I really have left, which is excuse myself, go inside alone into the basement, and just go to sleep. So that's what I did. I get up in the morning, and I'm the only person in the house. The three people that worked at the beach had to be at work before 7, so they had left super early, and Dave King had left his car outside and walked home.
So I'm sleeping there.
Yeah, instead of sleeping there. So the house is a mess. It's like just covered in cups, and it's like sticky and gross. So I get a trash bag from under the sink and clean up the entire house. And then I go home, and that's the worst part.
Yeah, I don't know like where to start with that.
Did you ever have a makeup birthday party where people actually came? Or was that the only 21st birthday she ever
I
had?
think that's the only
She
one.
made everyone
Yeah.
clear their schedule for a month, and you were
She
the only
asked
one who
us
could
to.
go.
Yeah, well, she asked us to do that, and then I think I was the only one that...
She's setting herself up for disaster if, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a good plan. I like that there's some cross universe.
Yeah.
It's
This isn't the first time. My name is Sam. In CJ's story from the first episode, I'm the one who pushed his boyfriend Mike under the bus, figuratively. With that guy who talked to us. Yeah, not only are we friends of Ben, but we're friends with each other, and we've lived together for years.
Yep.
Are you still friends with Kristen?
Yes, of course. She's one of my good friends.
Does she still use a Nuva ring as her primary form
No,
of
because
contraception?
after that time, it's not reliable. It's just gonna fall out like that. So.
What is her preferred method of birth control?
I can't remember. I think it might be. She might have like a patch or a shot now or something like that. And they're gonna lose like
Is that a thing?
3 months. Yeah.
That's the thing you like put in your arm and
It's
The
not
Nuva ring is
it's
like
not a pill.
I think it's kind of hilarious, the whole mechanism of it.
Yeah.
It's like a carnival game. Where's Joey now? Do you know?
I have no idea. I never saw him again after that day. Because why would I? He was a coworker of hers.
Yeah, he's probably giving drugs to kids.
He was the
Maybe.
lifeguard. What was his
Resist.
title again? Technical
Beach facilities
coordinator.
assistant or like something else. Let me
I don't think it was-
check my.
I
Coordinator.
love that there's like such a hierarchy
Attendant.
of jobs
Beach
on like
facilities
managing the
attendant.
beach.
Oh, he's just an
Yeah.
attendant.
Beach facilities attendant.
I'm a beach coordinator with a specialization in sand.
I got my BFA.
That does sound like a made-up job title to just cover that
Yeah.
you're a lifeguard. There's nothing wrong with being a lifeguard, but
You're like, I want to work on
Yeah.
a beach, and there's like 2 tracks. There's like the water and the sand.
Right.
you gotta make those decisions early.
Yeah.
You'll never get as far as the focused ones.
That's really funny. All right, let's move on to the last story we got. Sam Friedensohn.
Okay. So I'll do my best. Okay. I guess things you should know about me is that most of the time I'm boring, but every like 3 to 4 months I like to party. And I'm also an incredibly lucky person. So after graduation from college, I lived off campus, and I had a shitty sales job. Which could be its own thing, but basically it was like a door-to-door sales thing where I was harassing business owners near my college, trying to get them to buy things. They did not need anything I had to offer. The CEO of the company had like this cult of personality type of thing. He was like a hotshot CEO, so he'd send video dispatches every morning to all of the people like me who are working for this company trying to sell bullshit. And it'd be like, hey, 7 a.m. Just worked out for an hour and a half. I'm gonna go fuck my wife before she wakes up. You have a great day. Wait. Hotshot CEO stuff. And so I was alone. The only person that was like interacting with for this job was my my boss, my manager, who lived in Alabama. So we would just have phone conversations during the day. And I also wasn't paid. So I had tickets to a music festival that was taking place in a forest in western Michigan. We're in Somerville, Massachusetts, which is a suburb of Boston. I don't have anyone to go with me. I bought the tickets a while in advance, but I had no ride. So I made a posting on okay, so it's a 12-day walk from Somerville to this place in Michigan. It's about 1,000 miles if you go around Canada and not through Canada, from Somerville to Rothbury, Michigan, or a 15-hour car ride. But again, no car, no friends to take me, so I make online postings to every car-sharing website I can find, saying, hey, it's me, Sam, I'm trying to go to this festival, can you drive me? Miraculously, I get 2 replies. The first is from a girl whose name, I've forgotten their names, so I'm going to make up the names, and her name is Lulu. And Lulu was like, I don't have a car, but I'm also looking to go to this festival, so if you find anything, let me know. And I thought, great, a good buffer against the person who actually drives us is a murderer. I have this woman who's also going to be there. And then finally from carpoolworld.com. This is my endorsement of you because someone had a car. And they're like, yeah, man, let's do this. I'll pick you up. So this guy picks me up. I make a work excuse to miss. So the festival is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. My work excuse is that my best friend is moving to Argentina. So he's having a going away party, and it's on Thursday, so I'm not going to come back on Friday, which was good enough. That's pretty good when it's not, it's not sickness, it's not unexpected. Yeah. It's like my friend is leaving, and I gotta see him. So they accept it. The car ride is 15 hours long. Like I said, he's kind of a manic guy, but he's pretty cool. Eddie, I'll call Eddie, is the guy with the car. I'm not sure if their names will come up again, but if it does. He drove the whole way in one shot. He picked me up. We picked up the person who I was talking to because I asked if there was extra space for her. And then he just goes. 15 hours in a car, smoking weed the entire time. No breaks. But sharing with everyone. Really friendly dude. So that's Wednesday night. He picks me up. So Thursday morning, we arrive. We get to the festival. We set up camp. I end up just camping with these people. The whole people who were carpooled from carpoolworld.com end up camping together for the whole festival. But then I find out, I'm like, okay, so when are we going to ride back? And I find out that I won't be riding back with Eddie or Lulu. The festival actually goes through Sunday, so everyone kind of packs up and leaves on Monday. But I'm working on Monday, and I don't have that day off. And at the time, I still wanted the job for some reason. I shouldn't have taken it in the first place. I signed a contract. I think that I was like, I would owe them money if I quit. You guys, if you're looking for work and you have parents who love you, just let them look over anything before you sign it for a job. The lesson comes early for this. But I'm like, okay, well, I'll have to figure out a different way to leave on Sunday. There's got to be some people who are leaving early. Some people must work from, for the money to go here. But it's Thursday. I've got until then, so I push that task back for Saturday, Sam, to worry about. And then he hands it off to Sunday morning, Sam. And his idea is to make a sign saying, "Hey, I gotta go home. Can you give me a drive?" And tape that to my backpack, and then go hang out at the festival like I would have done anyway. And then it turns out the sign didn't help. I come back to camp, and for like breaks between music, that part. I'll skip over that part of the story. Just think of fun happening. And then there's some guys wandering from camp. So the way these things are set up is there's like a whole huge field kind of where people park their car and set up their tents and canopies and whatever next to their car. So it's just like a big, sea of people's camps. So there's a guy there's a group of people walking through this camp from tent to tent, trying to sell their speaker system that they're carrying around with them because they've spent all of their money on drugs and they can't afford gas to drive home. Oh. So I see these people and I hopped on that train and I said, "Hey, if you drive me anywhere out of here, I'll be able to figure out something. I won't buy your speakers, but I will pay for my fair share of gas." And they're like, "Yeah, sure, that helps." They have extra space. I think they ended up being able to sell their speakers to someone, and then we ended up leaving like later in the afternoon or evening. And I asked, "Where are you guys going?" And then the plan kind of formed that they would drive me to the Detroit airport. I'll fly home back to Boston, and right there I go on my phone, which has service. I buy the cheapest ticket from Detroit to Boston I can find, and then great, sure, 3-hour drive from the festival grounds to the or it would have been 3 hours to the airport, but then we stopped for Denny's and we hung out. They were pretty cool guys also. I don't have names for them. So I get to the airport. I sleep in the lobby of the airport, like the first room, because my flight was the next day and they wouldn't let you in early, or because it was empty. I forget which of those was the reason why I slept on the uncomfortable bench in the check-in area of the airport. But I did, and then I woke up early. I got on the plane, a 2-hour flight, and then I got back to my house on the morning of Monday, ready to take my manager's call at 9:08 a.m. And then 1 week later, I quit.
Wow.
So God was with me.
Whatever happened to Eddie and Lulu? Did you lose contact?
I think they're married now.
Yeah.
No, but actually I totally lost touch with both of them. I haven't spoken to either of them since.
And have you ever used carpoolworld.com again?
Not once.
Wow.
No. I made friends after that, and now I can get driven places.
Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining like Carpool World as a, corporeal business. And it's just like Eddie like paints it on the side of his car.
Oh yeah, the thing about Eddie was he was a professional truck driver. So he drove.
Oh, that's how
he drove cross country like professionally.
He didn't take you in like a giant
No, he
truck.
picked us up in a sedan.
Okay.
But he was also a businessman. We talked. We had 15 hours in the car together. We talked. He would he would deliver things and also like go to conferences about
truck driving.
I don't remember what. I'm sure it wasn't important.
So did you stop at all for gas?
Yeah,
Okay.
we stopped for gas because the car ran out of gas a couple times.
Did he have any kind of
But he never slept.
Yeah.
No one else drove. No one else. So we would take turns driving. Yeah.
Wow. What else did you learn about Lulu? Into who she is?
She was a college student from a different Boston college, and she was a vegan.
Yeah, that would take 15 hours.
Yeah.
Were they selling ganja goo balls? I've heard about these
From
things.
analyzed fish.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm obsessed with ganja goo balls.
No, I've never seen a ganja goo ball in my life. At the first festival I went to, though, it was the first time I'd ever tripped on acid also. And these people came, this young black guy and this old white woman were people just make their way through camp selling, and they sold us, they had a bunch of weird edibles, popcorn balls and things. And then they ended up chatting with us for like an hour and a half, and then forgetting to ask us for money, and then they left, and we couldn't find them because we forgot to pay.
So festival.
Yeah,
I love the community, man.
Oh no, it was at the end of the festival. They were scavengers, so they come in at the end, see the headliner, and then wait for people to leave and abandon things in their camps, and then they steal the shit. Well, take this stuff, and you can just resell like an abandoned canopy for like $20.
It's like a gypsy kind of lifestyle.
I was thinking those like Star Wars desert guys.
You can buy gas, live in your car, and feed yourself for a summer. You know, you owe it to yourself to do that also.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my advice.
Yes.
Have your parents look over things you sign for work, and scavenge festival sites for garbage until you can sell to keep yourself alive.
This is a real drug-fueled episode.
Yeah.
We got here.
Yeah, so lessons we've learned from today. Break into houses.
No, don't. Break in, but don't touch anything.
Yeah.
Don't get your prints.
Don't go to parties.
Ask your friends if they're going to the
Yeah,
party.
only go to a party if you know your other friends are already there.
Yeah.
And
I love
and plan travel in advance.
Yeah.
Well,
I
or
love
don't.
like,
Or don't.
I have
Work
like
out.
really intense social anxiety, but I'll just show up by myself without telling anyone before.
Because in no world did I think that I would be the only
True.
one who went.
You had
And half an hour is a fair.
I assumed. Yeah.
Right, out of
Fair
14
bump.
people.
Not that bad. Yeah.
True.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have on Stories My Friends Tell. I want to
Check
thank
out the
you.
White House.
Yeah, check out the White House. I've heard some good things.
Find me
without
at the
their money.
FDR Memorial.
Yeah. Can Sam and I plug our podcast?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Oh yeah, let's do plugs.
Yeah. We have a podcast called Spoiling Ourselves. It's on iTunes. We watch the first and last episodes of a different TV series each week, and then we talk about what we think happened in the middle.
It's a great podcast. I've been on it. I had a ton of fun.
Don't steal our idea.
Yeah, please don't steal our idea.
Don't you steal our idea. Our idea is the best.
Just generally in life, don't steal ideas.
Ben is on the West Wing episode.
Wait, I want to
That
do
means
my
I'm changing.
plugs.
Danny, what do you
Yeah,
want?
Danny, plug. What do you have to plug?
I made a movie. It's called Very Good Paint, but the Vimeo link is private. But you can Facebook message me and I'll send it.
Yeah, because no one's
like
listening to
you
this
know, I'm
season.
gonna be on tour, whatever.
Very Good Paint, and do you want to plug Laser Man?
Nah.
Okay. Well, in that case, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Ba 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 da 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 da.